Jealousy is written about my jealousy and how I feel jealous about maybe, a certain performer who might have more than I do, and how you can never really do that. You have to be grateful, really, for what you have. I'm sure there's people who look at me and say,
I wish I would have that.
Yeah, they wish that they had what I had, and then I'm looking at somebody else wishing that in reality you really have to be grateful, and I've learned to be more grateful for what I have. Kissing a Fraud is, it's the antithesis of Top of Love, but Kissing a Fraud is a very, very dark and personal song. They almost weren't going to put it on the album, and then I said, no deal. The song has to go on the album.
It's a great song.
Yeah, and in the show I sing the ballad version of the song, and I think in Provincetown, you have a lot of shows that are da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and when I sing Kissing a Fraud, I think the whole place goes into like a hush, and it's a very emotional song for me. Every time I sing it, it's very emotional. It takes me back to that person and my experience, and I cleverly inserted the name in the song. And it says, I hear your name every day, which is, I still do hear that name every day because it's kind of a common name, and I hear it every day. So every day I'm reminded of this person, and I put it in the song cleverly in a certain way, so that I actually have to sing the name every night. So I inserted it in there, and Keep It Moving is all about, after the devastation, heartbreak that I went through, I realized, through your pain, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep moving forward, and that's with everything. That's career, that's love, that's everything. You have to keep moving forward. Digital Lover is a premonition of the future. It's just a premonition about the future of love. Perhaps, I think, there's the future, like in my mind. That we will, until we find the right one, until we find the one, we will be able to go to a place and have a robot, sort of an android made to our specifications of what we want. And that android will keep us company, and they will be perfectly suited for what we want, what we need, and they'll be around for as long as it takes until maybe you find the right one. And if you never do,
got the robot. You
have the robot. And it also was something that I thought of, that, how there's child molesters, right? And then you get in trouble for that. Maybe that you could have a child android to your liking, and as long as you're not touching, but it's very controversial in my convoluted mind of something like that happening, the implications of making a robot, an android, to your specifications. And then if you had an android that pleased you all the time, you could get spoiled and then never want a human. Ego is about the ego, and how in a relationship, we all still have our egos in a relationship on many different levels. And it's also about, before I met this person that devastated me, there's a line in Ego, before I met you, the yogi told me the letters of your name in the exact order. And it's true, the yogi, I had met this yogi out of the blue months before this person came into my life, and the yogi said this person is going to have these initials, and it was those initials. Wow. Exactly, all three.
Wow.
In the order. So it's based on that. And the last song is Love Has the Power. Love has the power to come right back to you. So through all your pain, through all your hardships, whatever, you have to still smile out there. You have to still put love out there. Even through your pain, you have to still do it, because I believe still love has the power to come right back to you. So whatever you put out there will come back to you eventually. I hope soon.
So clearly you've taken the lessons of your life, put them into song, and hopefully teach other people through that.
Kind of. And you know, I go to clubs and hear dance music that's like what I call pots and pans. It's just rhythm and beats and nothing, there's nothing, no soul to it. And I still am kind of old school about songs and dance music, and I like songs, even in dance music, that have a little bit of soul, that maybe say something. Yeah. And so it's all set to pop dance music, beautifully done by Marcus Moser and some other remixers, and so I'm very proud of the whole project. So Jamestown is a concept album. It's a concept album. It's Jamestown dwells in the mind of Jimmy James. Enter at your own risk. Once you have entered, you may never be the same. Brace yourself for a kaleidoscope of emotions. Everything in Jamestown is real. None of the names have been changed to protect the innocent, because no one is innocent. So,
well, clearly you've gone and done a complete metamorphosis. You've really, again, as we've said, come into your own at this point. Is there any way that you would ever go back and do some of the previous characters that you used to do?
I don't see myself getting in drag to be a lookalike. I really don't. In the show, I quickly put on a wig for Betty Davis. You know, I'll go that far. I'll give it like a little bit. But at this point, we show video clips of my past. I might do my Marilyn tributes on the video screen. I might, you know, people can go on YouTube and see some of my Marilyn years on YouTube, but I'm a different person than I was then. I'm different. You know, I've evolved artistically. I've just evolved as a person. It's not like a hit song. I guess when a person has a hit song, they can sing it forever, but you just can't be a person who died at 36. You can't be that person. You can't be that person beyond that time. And I didn't want to do that.
How do you feel about your own self, artistically speaking? Are you satisfied with where you are, where you're going now? After a dry period?
I feel like, ooh, I finally broke through in some way. And it's like, I feel calmer that I accomplished something that I set out to accomplish. But of course, greedy me, you always want more, and I always have ideas about more stuff. And I remember being in Provincetown 1987 with the recording artist Sylvester, who sang Mighty Real and Do You Wanna Funk, and we sat at the boat slip one afternoon, and he was videotaping all the boys, and he was just a very lovely, lovely person. And he always told me, he said, because I was talking to him back then about wanting to record, and he said, the hardest thing you're ever going to have, the hardest thing will be getting your first one. Once you have your first one, it'll be a little easier. So, you know, getting that first one was the hardest thing I've ever done. The hardest. Because you spend a lot of time convincing people, you know, please just try it. Can't we try it once? Just give me a chance. And it took years of doing that. That was the hardest thing. You know, not even doing Maryland was that hard, because I got in Maryland drag and the doors just opened. You know?
Yeah.
They always like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's easy.